tuning into Polite Fiction Podcast. I'm your host, Nakia Lindsay.
And I'm your co-host, Cameron Humble.
All right. And on this show, we're just going to discuss social and personal scenarios that many people may think that the only way to get out was to pretend, but really the only way out is the truth. So we're examining why our culture has become uncomfortable with honesty and more content with the elephant staying in the room. So join us for this round table style conversation. And remember, you can't clean in the dark.
You can't clean in the dark. All right, so our first guest, the lovely Harley. Whoa.
I just want to know when I'm sat down low. Even though the I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for coming. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
So Miss Harley, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am actually, you can follow me on Instagram at harley.doesit, harley.doesit. I am an aspiring dance instructor and choreographer, as well as a model for music videos and a production coordinator for fashion shows. So I also am tapping into creative directing for artists, as well as, being like somewhat management for certain models, but that's not something I haven't developed all the way yet. It's just something I'm actually just
we don't speak it be developed.
Come on.
Yes, so I claim it.
Yes.
I definitely claim it. So
right, you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
So how do you and Nakia know each other?
Actually, I met the lovely Miss Nakia for a fashion show that I'm a production coordinator over for Unhushed Foundation.
Yes, Unhushed. Shout out to Miss Dee Dee.
Yes, my lovely cousin Dee Dee and everyone a part of that foundation. It is literally just a committee of women, Black women, and we come together for people with like sexual assault and domestic violence survivors. So it is men and women as well. And we have a fashion show every year for that cause.
Nice.
So anyone who is a survivor who wants to participate, we just want to uplift everyone and just let them know that you are enough. Despite what you've been through,
you are enough.
We want you to understand that you are enough and you do not have to put up with toxic behavior.
Amen.
That's what it's all about.
Yes.
I definitely like
yes,
that.
I met her then. She was a model. I was the fashion coordinator as well as the runway coach.
Harley. Coach Harley.
You know, they already know I'm so about my business, but I definitely don't try to be mean. You know, some people are like, ooh, you know, when I get into that mode, but I love each and every one of them, and I appreciate everyone who believes in me, you know, to get the job done. So she has been always a positive enforcement during those times, helping me out all the time as far as even just being a positive pillar for the other models and being just a positive role model so that we stay on track. So I always appreciate her every year.
Thank you. We love to be professional.
Come on, yeah, you gotta be.
We Black we be on time. You hear me?
Yeah, we punctual.
And we punctual.
Okay. You know what? I try to be punctual as much as I can, but sometimes I have, being in Houston, I don't know what's going on with the traffic right now, but
on time hit you different when the traffic.
Yeah, you know what? Nowadays, people be like, be here at this time, but I understand it's traffic, so I'm gonna give you 15 minutes.
Give you a grace period.
Yeah, it's like everyone has a grace period now because they know traffic is crazy.
Traveling
but it's
in
okay.
Houston is 40 minutes anywhere you go.
Anywhere you go, and I don't understand because everyone's not going to work.
Exactly. Where
you
you
no
going?
Happy hour.
Y'all, so let's get into the show. I just want to start us off with some icebreakers.
All right.
Y'all can get to know us a little bit. Once again, thank you for tuning in. This is the very first episode.
Come
y'all
on.
excited?
Come on, turn up.
Y'all excited?
I ain't gonna do that.
So y'all tell me, what is your favorite quote from a song? Co-host, you go first.
All right. So initially, the first thing that comes to mind
Y'all,
is
he
a
practiced
quote
it. I'm just playing.
from a Lil Wayne song. I don't even remember the title, but I just remember quoting it throughout high school and just always randomly remember. It's from Emily.
No, I don't know.
Okay, but anyways, Lil Wayne just goes and says I'm so official, all I need is a whistle. And so
I'm so official, all I need is I know that song because
song
that
is
is
that?
I love. Oh my God, I know the beat a chick named Crystal, love to suck my pistol. Open up her mouth and then to blow her brains out. Yeah.
Don't remember the title.
I know exactly
that specific lyric stuck.
Okay.
I know. I already know what you're talking about. I love that song.
And Miss Harley.
I actually don't even remember the song, but it is a J. Cole lyric where he says, "How much for your soul?" And that always stuck with me, because I feel like everyone, they sell out. You know, everyone's soul almost has a price, and it's like my soul is not for sale. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like
Big facts.
My soul is never for sale, and all money is not good money. Exactly. So that's why that really stuck out for me, because it's like you have to understand who you are and your worth. And understand that sometimes people know how much you're worth, but they like almost appreciate your value. You know what I mean? Just so they can make more money. You see what I mean?
Yes. Just see you as a dollar sign.
And you ain't about to capitalize off my talent.
It's that. Yeah. Period. No, you can't.
No. Yeah. So.
Okay. So my favorite quote is coming from her on the song "Against Me," and it's to my women with the utmost respect. Intellect, intuition can see through elusive intent. Listen to it. So that's one of my favorite quotes, because, you know, she's very poetic. I love her, but it defines me as a woman. You know, Cameron knows me a little bit. You know, I'm always like, my spirit wasn't right. My discernment. So it's like, as a woman, I know that we feel and think and breathe different. And we know and see so much with the eyes of, like, especially when you're like close to the Lord and spiritual, you see through a whole different lens, and a lot of things can't get past you. Even if you don't all the way understand it, you can see through it. So listen to it. That was my favorite part. Listen to it. Because so many times we see what's going on, or it's a situation that pops up, but we ignore it because it's more convenient. That's what led me to this title. That's what led me to everything, because you have to listen to it. Yes. You have to be honest. You have to be open, and don't pretend like you don't feel it. Right. Like, you're like, wow, something told me, and something told you not to, but you did it anyway.
And be mad at yourself after you done did it.
Sick.
To your stomach.
Got the flu.
Achoo.
So that brings us to our topic for today. It's toxic behaviors in ourselves and in other people. So that's with friends, with family,
romantic relationships.
So Miss Harley, tell us, like, how do you feel? How do you deal with that? How do you recognize those telltale signs of if someone's toxic or if you're toxic? Because sometimes we can be the toxicity of the situation.
I don't know how you
right.
say it.
Yes.
Well, first and foremost, I reevaluate myself in every aspect. Even when I'm responding to certain things, I kind of take a step back and realize would I want someone to respond like this to me if I was on the other end of the spectrum. So if I come back with a no, I wouldn't want someone to do me like that, then I realize my behavior was the inappropriate behavior, and I'm going to apologize. I'm going to own up to my faults, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all make mistakes. Right. So the best thing you can do is just own up to it and really be genuine about your apology towards the person that, you know, you did the behavior to.
Right.
So I can kind of almost recognize it myself, because I really know how to look at things from every angle.
Right.
Which is very, very hard to do.
Four-dimensional, yes.
Yeah. So you can't even just, a lot of people think you're only supposed to just look, you know, through almost just like
no peripheral.
Yeah, like you're not supposed to remember the other angles you have. Yeah. Like, it's not just a straightforward angle. You know what I mean? There's not just 90 degrees and 180, 360. There's a 45-degree angle. There's other degrees. You know what I mean? So there's things that you still have to look at. You got to switch the situation, and what would you, if I was in your shoes, what would I have done? Yes. And if I can say, oh yeah, I would have not accepted that, then I realized I was a toxic person.
Yes.
At that time. Not saying that I'm a toxic person, period. No. But at that time, my behavior was the toxic part, and which caused the situation to maybe go
I
left.
agree with that. The toxic, even in myself, the toxic behaviors doesn't mean that I'm a toxic person.
Right.
Sometimes we have to separate that moment from the person as a whole, and sometimes the person as a whole is that moment that you experience with them. Like, they are that person. But sometimes we just have moments, and it's cool. We can all get past it.
Right.
So, Cameron, tell me, what is your relationship with toxic?
With toxic, I think for me, it's very hard sometimes for me to like pinpoint if I myself am exhibiting toxic behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Over the last, year or so, I realized that I was one of those people that was just kind of like tunnel vision, and I would pick it in everyone else other than myself, and so I was like. It got to a point where the Lord just had to humble me because I realized
the Lord that humbled Cameron humble.
I was just somebody that was just mean and selfish, and it was bad.
No,
so
I feel
I'm really
it.
trying to work on it. I'm still trying to work on it
every day.
But it's getting easier, and now I'm like learning to not allow like even other people's like toxic behavior affect me as well.
Exactly. You have to protect your space.
Yeah, protect your peace.
Protect your peace.
And your energy.
That's
You
it.
have to do all that. Yeah.
Because it's exhausting.
Exactly. So that's one thing I've been working on. I know probably my main toxic behavior is the communication. I know sometimes I can be a butthole. I'm like, I don't care about that. I don't talk about it. You done hurt my feelings.
You shut down. Closed off.
It's bad. And what I've learned is that we have to be able to open up and say the truth. One thing that me and Cameron was talking about the other day, I said, I heard something, a sermon, and it was like, intimacy brings about truth, and truth brings conflict. So those close relationships that bring about vulnerability, because I hate being vulnerable, so I could be that toxic person. I'm be like, you can, too many feelings, too many emotions. I'm gonna bag up.
No, same here.
Right.
Like, I can't deal with it. It's too much. But it's just learning to grow and to communicate and to be honest.
Right.
Sometimes being honest does not have the outcome that we want. It is what it is. But I feel like that's the key to all toxic behaviors: being honest with yourself and being honest with others.
Yeah.
And just like, not one thing I always about toxic people or toxic situations, don't play me for a fool. I know this happened. I know, like, and sometimes I don't want to bring it up because you did it. You bring it up to me.
Yeah.
You the one who don't act like this didn't happen. Like, that's the number one thing why recent relationships or friendships, it's like going downhill, because it's like, this is why this show is brought about. It's a cultural thing. It's social. Like, we do not deal. We're better off with the face in the outer person presenting that, instead of like really like, okay, well, that situation happened and I was just like, F you. Like, I didn't care about you when I did it towards you.
Right.
I just didn't care. I would rather you say, I didn't care about you at that moment. And that's what led my actions, instead of saying, well, I didn't know how
exactly.
But this makes me think of a question, and Harley, I'm going to ask you this. So why do you think we continue to allow just like toxic people in our lives or tolerate them?
Because we don't know ourselves. We are so stuck on, oh, I didn't get this, I didn't get that. This is who I want to be. This is who I want to end up with. You can literally have your physical, like, okay, I can only speak for myself right now, but because I've been in this situation where I had my physical dream man, but the personality of this man was the devil incarnate. So, like, to me, I dealt with it for the sake of, because physically, he was everything I wanted. And that's what a lot of women we get trapped up in. We get trapped in the actual, not the intimacy, the sexual connection. Right. There's a difference, and a lot of women don't even know what intimacy is. They jump on a man all day about, oh, you don't do this, you don't do that. But they don't even know what intimacy is. And not only that, but women will jump on a man for doing the exact same things that she's doing. We just don't get caught.
I'm glad you brought that up.
It's one thing that needs to be understood is that women are the problem just as men are the problem. There is because it's humans. It's not one sex that's worse than the other. It's a people problem. It's just us being human and humans wanting what they want.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. So we got to stop saying, oh, it's men, oh, it's women. And one thing we have to stop referring to each other as is bitches and niggas. That we gotta take that out. We gotta take that out.
Include it.
Yeah, like we have to, because honestly, I'll catch myself doing it, and I'll have to draw myself back. You know, like be like, you know what, not that this young lady. And I've done that plenty of times when I'm upset about something, and I'll end up, you know, calling her out of her name, and I'll be like, you know what, let me take that step back. She's a young lady. She's not a four-legged animal, which we have to remember what that is.
Exactly,
it's a four-legged animal who walks on all fours, and who basically pisses and you know, does things all out in the public. We don't conscience, no morals. That's basically what that is. You know, that is an animal. I'm not going to refer to a human being as an animal. That is disrespectful on every level. That's something that I'm working on. But we need to understand that instead of keep wanting to point fingers and play tit for tat, we just going to have to start owning up to the fact that, hey, maybe if I hadn't done this, this person wouldn't have been this way with me. You see what I'm saying?
You get back what you put out there.
Exactly. Yeah. You reap what you sow, and that is a very, very, you know, a lot of people take that lightly, but you do.
It's a real thing.
You reap what you sow.
It's a real thing.
Yes.
So what did you have? It was like a light bulb went off when she...
I'm glad. See, this is why the lovely camera. No, that was... I feel like a lot of times in society... women, we don't take ownership of nothing. It ain't nothing you can do to make us take ownership.
Y'all ain't wrong ever.
You're not, and I promise
I
you,
ain't wrong.
I'm not wrong.
That didn't happen. Like, that's a universe that I don't know exists.
Exactly.
And it's like, as a woman, it's like, I know I see you, like, to other women, and it's like you pretending like you did nothing. It's like, it's not going to fly. You can have better solutions to problems if you just say, well, maybe I was wrong in just that little aspect, but I also want you to see where you went wrong, and maybe we can come to a middle ground. Maybe we can have compromise. And that's one thing I'm working on that too. Like, cause sometimes I don't want to compromise. I'm just like, I'm right. But also I'm right about this.
Don't say nothing else.
There's nothing.
Are you though?
There's nothing.
Don't say anything else to me unless you're coming over here with a plate of food. You know?
Exactly. But one thing is, like, as women, we can't play the victim every situation. And it's like, it becomes such a social norm. And then sometimes when people are saying that they were in situations that didn't happen, it makes it hard for the people who actually experienced that. And it's almost selfish for you to walk in that type of truth and that type of reality, because it's just not, it's not real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not true. I remember we had a conversation with one of our other friends, and he's like, well, women run the world. Like, everything is based upon your opinion or something. If y'all say y'all like dreads, we're going to change our hair. If we don't do that. So I feel like it was true. Women have a lot of power.
We do.
So if we say we're not right, it may make men think that they are always wrong, because we have that much power in the words that we use and the things that we say and the ideas that we put out there. And then when our relationships, especially as Black women, when our relationships are trembling and not working, sometimes we still won't budge. Like, we're not willing to compromise on nothing. Right. But it's not saying the angry Black woman, because that's not true. Because
it's pride.
Like, it's a sense of pride, because we do feel like we're unprotected. We're never spoken up for. So if I budge on one thing, it's like I'm budging on everything. But we have to change that mindset. We're not. It's just, take this situation for what it is right here. Like, don't take it for everything. And maybe you can be wrong. Maybe you can grow. Maybe you can learn something. I've learned from Harley. Like, it's a lot of Black women like, I don't want to learn from you. I don't want to pay attention to you. I don't want to be. I saw this even in our fashion show. Yes. Like, you don't want to listen. Like, these things she's telling you, when she say bring wipes.
Yeah.
She ain't telling you nothing. You know, we ain't always trying to be out to get you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what? That's one thing that I will say that I wish women would just stop doing, is being so intimidated by someone else who's doing something defensive with their life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I find a lot of women, not to like cut you off or anything, but good. I find so many women who hate me as soon as they see me. Why? Because this is literally what they do. I promise. oh my God, I've already gone through this. I think I don't know.
1,000 times.
Yeah, I've gone through this so many times. Like, and even they'll see it. They'll be like, "Oh my God!" Like she looked at you like she just can't stand you, and she doesn't know me at all.
Right? Do you know
Which
her?
is very crazy, right? You would probably be like, "Why are you
that prejudgment?"
So, yeah, but basically, the first thing they see is the physical part. Okay, then it's like, "Oh my God, I can't stand her already." Because they feel like they can't compare to me, which you should never be comparing yourself to me anyway. Okay, right? Which is we're our own worst enemy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
and
us.
it's like,
no, really,
no, seriously, like we are our own worst enemy because it's like you've never even spoken to me before, but you automatically don't like me because of how I look.
Exactly.
One. That's already strike one.
Behavior.
That's
strike two. If you feel like people are taking me in and they're gravitating towards me, oh my God, she gets natural attention. Strike two. That's already strike two for you.
Because you can get your own attention, baby.
Right.
It's for everybody. It's out here.
Right.
Waiting to get got.
That's strike two. Strike three, social media. They go on social media. They start seeing, oh, she's really doing something with her life. Then it's like, well, why is my life not like that?
Yeah.
And there goes the hate. Immediately.
I actually think it's something different. Me and Cameron had this conversation because I said so many times I get, especially at work and close situations, you walk in and you automatically make people uncomfortable. It's your spirit. It's who you are. It's what you have inside of you that other people just don't have. Because it could be people that are just as beautiful as you,
of course,
in someone else's eyes, but they can't see themselves as you already project yourself to be. So aside from the social media, it's what you have inside of you that people can't take, and it makes people so uncomfortable.
And oftentimes they don't even recognize.
They don't recognize
what they're
that.
really wanting out of that person.
Exactly.
That's what they're seeing. They're right. They see what they can see with their eyes.
Yeah, and feeling like I can't touch that.
Yeah.
Like, that's intangible.
What is it? How?
Because a lot of people are trying to figure out, now, how did you master this? But instead of just wanting to be a genuine force next to you to understand how they can develop.
Ask her.
You know, instead of just wanting to come ask me, hey, how did you manage to get
Girl,
this?
how you dance like that? Take my class.
And it's like, wait, what? You know, like, I am a people person. Okay, hold on. Let me not lie. Hold on, let me just take that
times.
Back. Let me recant.
I am standoffish.
Rebooting. Okay. No, okay. I am an oxymoron, okay? I definitely love people. I am really a people person, but I hate people at the same time. Why? Because they take my kindness for weakness. They think that because I'm being nice, it means that I'm trying to be thirsty for them. And it's really, no, I just have a good heart. You know what I mean? But if you want to see that other chick around, you know what I mean? Like, you know, she can come about.
Don't turn up.
You know, right. If you need the other girl who live in the hood real quick, like, you know what I'm saying?
She's always there.
She's right.
Ready.
She's literally right around the corner. You know, so it's like, but I don't want to be that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not my spirit, and that's not who I am as a person.
Exactly.
I'm happy all the time. I'm always smiling. Everyone will say, as soon as I'm coming in, hey, like literally hugging everyone. Like, I do hugs. That's what my family grew up off of. I don't know about anybody else, but when I get to my family's house, it takes us at least 30 to 40 minutes
just to greet
everyone, because we're hugging and we're kissing and pleasantries. And so
that's beautiful.
That's what I am. That's my foundation. And I realize that a lot of people don't have that foundation. So I want to promote that foundation and let people know, look, I may not be your blood, but I'm here to help you. I am not here to tear you down. I don't even want to, like, I hate when people say I'm gonna hold you down. No, I'm gonna lift you up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't want to hold you down.
Yes, I'm gonna lift you up.
Yeah, I want to lift you up. And
yes.
Positivity, empowerment. That's why I love being a part of the Unhushed Foundation and just certain things for a great cause, and just, you know, being a part of things
meeting
that
people
where it's just let's break the barrier of just always having to be selfish and always having to be out for ourselves. Like, let's learn to love each other. Everyone says this. I see this all over social media, and the same people who post these inspirational quotes all day are the most effed up individuals you will ever meet.
You got a story
I had a story about that.
Oh, I got too many, but we ain't even about to.
Let me tell you all. So I don't know if you're watching. Hopefully, you'll see me in the media, okay, the cinema. But I'm an aspiring actress, you know, and model as well. But I'm heavy, you know, into acting. That's my, you know, my number one passion. And I had this thing, you know, Monologue Mondays on Instagram. And I'm so mad. It got me a little discouraged, y'all. I'm going to get back on it. That's all right.
You better.
But I did my monologue Mondays, and it was solely like based off of a casting director. She said, actors, use your social media. This is your number one tool. Put your stuff out there. Tag people. Do this. I literally, I was inspired. Like, this is a casting director letting us know that this is a safe space to tag them into something, because some people don't like that, you know. So long story short, I did, and she commented under, and she said, take me off of this. And her page is all about inspiration. Put your stuff out there toward actors.
Wow.
I just said, okay.
Right.
Because there's no way, whenever you do want to cast me, I would never be a part of anything that you put out. And it's not a vindictive thing. It's just to say, I know my worth and I know my value. And I know if something spoke to me, then I can't regret going on that, because it spoke to me.
Yeah.
You gave this advice, but it's procrastination. And that's social media, though. People put out that there's something, but it's totally different. It's not that.
Yeah,
it's not that. It was a little devastating. It was a little question. I told Cameron, like,
I
whoa.
know, I saw the stuff and I was like,
she got me messed up. I almost called her some of them B words and them N words. I didn't though. Okay.
You good.
Fans, okay? Y'all ain't watching yet, but y'all gonna be watching in a minute, okay?
No, but she was wrong.
No, she wrong.
But no, that's definitely, and it's just almost discouraging, because it's like, how are you going to be a pillar for other people to try to...
A pillar of anything but light.
Right. Like, so you're just a pillar of darkness right now?
Darkness?
Like, what's going on?
You don't support dreams?
Yeah, so like...
She's a dream crusher.
Dream crusher.
Yeah, like, okay.
But you don't see me on TV, and I'm a show that screen. On my first interview, I'll be like, this pushed me to go harder, because obviously.
Right.
Shout out to what's your guy? She's the reason why I'm here.
Right. I've and like,
I just want to say thank you to all my haters.
Right. You know, like, because I've definitely dealt with that in the industry. A lot of people will look at me and understand, like, oh my God, people love her, so let's use her for this.
Yes.
And then I don't even get what, you know, the compensation or what, you know, what I deserve after all of the work I put in for them. You know what I mean? And then what do? They're going to drop you and start, you know, getting someone who they feel is better for the job. But to me, it's like, you know what? So when I'm doing what I need to do for my life, please don't come back.
Just don't come back around.
Yeah, right. And it's like you said, it is not vindictive. It is not retaliation. It is not tit for tat. It is that my spirit now knows you were really not for me. And I was able to manifest and still be blessed despite you trying to knock me off of my course. Now you want to come back and be nice. And it's like, no. no.
And ultimately, you would know, like, they wouldn't get the job done anyway.
No, you don't want to be a part of their stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But one thing I love, that I thank you so much, Cameron. I thank you, Harley, that we are working next to each other. I think so many people try to work up, and I want to work with this person because they've already done this. Work with the people next to you, because they are the next person that you're going to be looking up to. They're going to be that person. They're going to be the person looking up to somebody else. And also, as we grow and as we get bigger, we want to pull people up with us. We want to seek out opportunities to help people, you know, whenever we get in those positions. Right. But while we're here, work next to each other. If I know, you know, Miss Harley, she does dance classes, one-way coach. If I know that she does good at what she does, the next time I want to do that, I'm going to ask her, because I already know her. You know, I'm already invested in her. If I want something that I want you to do, I'm going to ask Cameron, because I'm working next to me, and I'm not just going to get the person who I think, oh, there's Steven Spielberg. No, because we are the next Steven Spielberg. We are the next Taraji. Like, we are the next that.
Yes. So let them know. Yes, let them know. Let them know. You don't know who's the next Beyonce or the next, you know, whatever, like the next Tyler Perry. You don't know. You don't know who it is.
Like,
you know,
block your blessings.
Like, that's like everyone probably bashed, blame it on K-Way. You know what I mean? And look at where he's at now. Everyone is trying to be next to him.
Exactly.
But how many people actually wanted to be next to him when he was nothing?
He was right. Okay, so we are almost out of time. That was good. It went by quick. It went quick.
I'm a little sad.
No, me too.
I'm seriously sad now.
To end, I want y'all to give me right now, just at this moment, what's the quote for your life?
The quote,
Cameron?
I said this recently because we do acting together.
Yes.
And so we did a little interview style video. But my quote for life is pretty much, you can't grow in comfortability. Like you just can't grow. You'll stay stagnant, and so you just got to get uncomfortable, take a step of faith, and move forward, and just take those chances,
right,
and see where you end up.
I like that. I like that.
Ms. Harley.
This is actually something I really kind of. It's not. I mean, I've heard it plenty of times. I'm pretty sure people have, but it's something that I really just place on my life a lot. Basically, yesterday was yesterday. Live for today, but plan for tomorrow. You know, so basically, whatever happened yesterday, let it go. You know, I know it's going to be hard, but really take that time for self-medication and self-love and self-appreciation to let go of whatever distracted you a little bit from your course yesterday. Remember, today is a new day.
Yes.
You start fresh, you plan fresh, but you also plan for tomorrow.
Exactly.
And I think that's what a lot of people forget. Stop always thinking it's about living in the moment. And remember, you do have to live in the moment, but you still got to remember you have a future.
Exactly.
So that's why tomorrow is still important.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. I'm going to end with my quote, which is the only way to predict the future is to create it.
I like that.
So
I like that. Everyone has such great quotes. Like, this is this is inspirational. I love it.
So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing with Polite Fiction. This is my baby. You know,
congrats.
Waited too long.
So proud of you. I'm very proud of you.
Way too long.
Congratulations.
But we're wrapping up here, and I thank you all for tuning in to the podcast. And it's going to be airing every Friday. You can look at our YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe, like on Facebook and Instagram, Polite Fiction Podcast, for everything. No space, no caps. Okay? Thank you, and peace.
Yeah.